King. Welcome to Talk Kings, where real kings talk about real things.
Hey, welcome to Talk Kings, where we're kings, real kings talk about real things. My name is Donnell Britt. We got my man Johnny Brooks. Man, you got the head on today, baby.
Yeah, a little something. My
Slime.
kids decided to do that. Man.
Avis with the nice
Huh?
lime
That's what it's told.
Larry Kennedy. I like the shirt, brother.
You like that,
It's a
man?
nice shirt, man.
Yeah.
It's a real nice shirt.
yeah.
Pleasure, baby. It's the board I'm on.
Huh?
One of the boards I'm a part of.
Okay. All right, good. Hey, thanks for hanging out with me, guys, today. We're going to talk about something that can be looked at a lot of different ways. You know, me personally, out of all of y'all, well, Deidre, you was married before.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, your first wife passed away. Mm-hmm. I was married before, but she didn't pass away. But I don't know. I wouldn't, no, she good people now. But back then, I probably wouldn't have minded if it would have happened. Now, I'm just playing everybody. But seriously, do we stay in relationships too long? Because I got a divorce, right? And honestly, we had separated years before. And I feel like that was the time we should have just got a divorce. Right? Now, the only thing is the two things that came out of it that I could never want to take back is my two beautiful children. Mm-hmm. So I know everything happens for a reason, but do y'all think that we stay in relationships, friendships, marriages a little bit too long?
I honestly think we do. I was in that situation where that I was young. My oldest son's mother is a year older than me. And when I knew it was time to quit, I was too young to accept it because I didn't want another man. I knew my son wasn't going with me. I didn't want another man raising my son at 3 years old. So I stayed in a relationship like another 4 or 5 years with purity, So once I got dealing with older people, putting older people in my circle, and realizing what was going on, when I left, when I made my decision to leave, I could take my son with me. She was cheating on me, I was cheating on her. We were just in basically an open relationship, but never talked about it. Mm-hmm. And I stayed too long, but that relationship made me value the relationship I'm in now with my wife. Mm-hmm. To accept a woman. And I never disrespected my oldest son, but made me accept my kids now. A relationship can go overboard, a friendship can go overboard because you don't want to end it because you don't want to hurt that person, but in reality, you're hurting yourself more.
A lot of time, and I know y'all got a lot of things to say, but one thing you said that resonated with me is a lot of people talk about, well, I would get a divorce or I would walk away if it wasn't for the kids, if it wasn't for the fact that we got a house together. If it wasn't, so sometimes the relationship part is already messed up. You stand really to me for the wrong reason, because if you just stand for the kids, I wouldn't even say it's the wrong reasons, because I understand them saying that they want to make sure that the kids' mental space, because when you get a divorce, the kids go through a lot in a divorce. So I can understand people doing that. But I think that's a bad thing to stay in a marriage or a relationship with a person just because you have kids. But that happens every day.
Brett, I think it's a lot to do with the fear of change or the unknown of change. Yeah. So if you're used to this person being at the house when you get there, you don't know what it's going to be like when that person is there. So the unknown a lot of times frightens people to make that leap to say, okay, this relationship is not healthy for me. You know what I'm saying? So people don't like change. You stay consistent with certain things because you don't like change, because it's the fear of the unknown or what's to come from it. If you've been used to seeing the same person over and over and over again, I don't know what I'm getting if I get away from this person. I don't know what it's going to be like, but I know what I'm getting with this one. It might be the price to pay to be with this person, but I know every time I get inside of this house or walk through that door, this is what I get. when it changes and you got to go into something new, the unknown frightens a lot of people, man.
Unknown and being alone.
Yeah.
Unknown and being alone.
Even if you ain't even with
You
them,
know?
but just
You know what
being
I'm saying?
alone, not having that person at the house. Yeah.
And Larry, I know you've been with your wife since, high school, a long time. So, I know you don't have much to say about this topic.
Well, I do.
We knew it.
But I wanted to hear the stories. They're pretty interesting. And they're
Interesting, right?
Yeah.
The story is interesting.
Hey, I learned. Trust me, mental notes.
Yeah. It helps you in your marriage.
But with that being said, the biggest thing with me was, I think you do have to recreate yourself in your marriage. I think the person you start dating that you met when you was 16, 17, 18 is not the person that you're going to see at 30 or at 40. So you have to learn how in your marriage, how to recreate yourself, keep your marriage fresh, keep going on dates, keep going on trips. I mean, you got, whether it's counseling, whether you got to still date your wife. You can't just be in a marriage and think now it's a marriage and it is what it is. We got kids, we got this house, we both got our careers. No, you got to continue to do a lot of the things you did when y'all first started. Now, your mental state is going to change. Your education is going to change. The way you think, the way you do things is going to change. But what can't change is the way y'all do things together. Y'all got to put that time in. It's just so many other things that you have to do to keep your marriage, fresh, keep it going. And that's why I say, yeah, you can stay in there too long if you let it go dead. If there's nothing you're willing to do to change the marriage, change the atmosphere, change the culture, change the mindset, because you're going to have to change your ways and change your way of thinking just in time. It just becomes natural. It's a part of growth. If you still the same person at 19 that you are at 40, there's probably a problem.
But that's
I mean,
what people talk about that. Right?
Yeah, but from 19 to 40 is a big gap. Okay, at 19, you could be having problems, but deal with them because y'all young. But at 24, them problems still there. Me personally, I don't think y'all.
Well, I wouldn't have got married at 24 if I was having the same problems at 19 and 24, because I got married at 26, turned 27. So, it's a little bit different for me.
Okay.
So, and then, we going on 25 years.
Okay.
So now with that being said, I done put in that time. I'm not the same person I was. When she met me, I was an athlete. Fresh out of college, man. I was that guy.
In the country, right?
I was that guy, but I was coming off an injury, got hurt. Hey, I just fell from the grace.
But you didn't fall. You kept elevating though.
Of course.
You know what I'm saying?
Of course.
But that's your situation.
but
in the same
me
situation,
finish.
go ahead. Go ahead.
So-
You got the floor.
So my situation was, everything was fresh. Was she gonna be with me? Because now I'm not the millionaire guy. I'm not the guy that's supposed to go first round now. The guy that was projected to have all this money, this long NFL career. Now I got to see if my wife's willing to take this grind with me, to take this ride. Because now, boy, this thing getting ready to get bumpy. And it got bumpy at times. And it wasn't perfect at times. We had our disagreements. But at the same time, with those challenges, we were willing to discuss it, we were willing to communicate, we were willing to talk about it. Because let me tell you, if you're not talking in your marriage, if you're not communicating in your marriage is going to struggle.
It's a struggle.
Because you're both going to have your separate lives. You both have your separate friends. I don't think her friends need to be my friends and all my friends need to be her friends. I do think you got to have something that separates y'all. You got to have something that's a hobby and that's an interest. But at the same time, as you get older, and this just for me because I've been married a long time, as you get older, you better have some common ground because things change. So if I like to go to the beach, you better like to go to the beach. If I like to go jet skiing, kind of better learn how to swim. If she want to go to the gym or work out, I better start working out. It's just some things we got to have that's got to become a common bond. Because other than that, if you're traveling, you're doing things, and you have nothing in common, it's going to be a problem. It's going to be a difference.
I admire you because you guys have had to endure the test of time because you was together young, but you got married at 26, but you was with her before then.
I was 16.
Right. So you were at 16 years old.
So you've been your wife since 16?
No. We were high school sweethearts.
High school sweetheart.
At what age?
What else? 16, 17.
No one said 16. Yeah, no one said.
Right.
Okay.
So definitely, even her, she had to wonder. She wanted to stay. I heard you talk about that, but she had to wonder, should she get out of this relationship?
Yeah, right.
Because you wasn't the guy at 16 as you are now at 42 or whatever, how old you are, you know, and but that's the thing though. That's the problem. The problem with relationships is when you reach that next plateau and somebody goes up or down or whatever in the relationship, that's when everybody want to call it quits because we grow apart. That's what you heard people. Oh man, we grew apart, man. You know, we got together when we were young and we got older and I don't like her like that no more. You know what I'm saying?
And
She's
really
not the same woman I tried to talk to when she was 16.
Yeah.
So your wife had to reinvent herself to you. You had to reinvent yourself to your wife, and then she had to like that, and you had to like who she became.
You gotta be willing to change.
That-
But
that's- I was
if
just
you
about to say
didn't
that.
like who she became, that's why we have the issue of divorce or people walking away.
But that's why you keep that line of communication. If you keep, like Larry was saying, if you keep that line of communication, y'all tend to grow together. Now, we may not have all the same similarities, but like he was saying, if she know I'm starting to really like going to the beach, because we got that line of communication, guess what? Some of them days that she may not want to go, she's going to say, you know what? I'm going to go and go to the beach. Hey, babe, you want to go to the beach? There you go. Because it's that communication. So you grow together. It may not be in the same type, you know what I'm saying, in the same thing. I may start liking this and she may start liking this. But the compromise and the communication we have, it lets us grow together.
And the other part about that is, as much as she supports me, you gotta support her. So, you know, if she shows up at my events, then if she got something going on in her job or at her school, or she need me to be there or need my supports, I need to show up and walk through those doors as well.
Okay.
So she needs to know the support is both ways.
Okay,
now-
so hold that thought. Hold that thought. Whatever you're gonna say, we come right back to you after the break. I heard a lot about communication, so we're gonna come back to you right after the break. Well, then we're gonna talk about how communication can help keep the relationships going, so you don't have to leave the relationships too early or stay in it too long. So thanks for tuning in with us at Talk Kings, Real Kings, talking about real things. We'll be back after the break.
We have a place for you in Western Branch.
We have a place for you in Virginia Beach.
We have a place for you on the peninsula.
We have a place for you in Suffolk.
We have a place for you in Elizabeth City.
We have a place for you in Portsmouth.
We have a place for you in Chesapeake.
I am Dr. Angela Flowers, executive coach, educator, and founder of Envision Coaching and Consulting, a training and development agency. I specialize in equipping leaders with tools needed to improve and grow their organization through providing one-on-one coaching sessions, professional development trainings for their staff, and evaluating programs to help develop an action plan intended to promote organizational improvements, education, government, small business, corporate, and most recently, nonprofits. If you're looking for a coach to help you reach your leadership goals or you want to develop your team, contact me at angela.flowers@myenvisioncoach.com.
Welcome back to Talk Kings. My man down there, Britt. We got my fellas here. Johnny, before the break, you were here to say some great information. Let us know what you wanted to get out of off your chest.
Well, what I wanted to talk about in the relationship things is I have seen situations that have been like a mentor in some situations, whereas that guy and girl got together at a younger age. Sex was great. you know, they communicating, whatever. Kids got involved later in the teens, but the guy or the girl had different visions. You know what I'm saying? The girl might have visions of ambition as far as elevation, you know, boom, boom. The guy just had a vision as far as that I'm older than her, I'm sexing her good, she like the sex, we got kids, and this is where we're going to stay at. You know what I'm saying? So they grew apart, but they were still together. So from 18 to 28, they together, but they grew apart. So when she decided to take her career or whatever she was doing to a different level, he couldn't take it. You know what I'm saying? A lot of relationships go to that.
That's what I was saying. Like, from the 18 to 28, you gotta like the person that your mate involved into. You know what I'm saying? So
Each other gotta adapt to each other.
Right, but you still have to love that person that they changed into. If you don't love that person that they changed into, your 18-year-old self is not the same at 28, and
But
definitely ain't the same as 44.
As far now, go back to as far as being the man in the situation, the man looked like he the dominant one. So the man looked like he should be able to control the whole situation. But
if you're a real man,
if you're a real man, he should control it. But in the same situation, we got some strong black women out here that can control the situation.
Right. So, but
a man should be able to piggyback just what a woman should piggyback.
Listen, my wife come to me tomorrow and say she got this great and she making all this money. I will ride with it. But some guys can't handle it.
But look at your age now.
I'm 44, but we didn't get together when we was 18. Because I can promise you this. If me and my current wife were together at 18, we wouldn't be together right now. Because it's just how we was when we was 18.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? The person that I was at 18 is not the dad or father I am now. You know what I'm saying?
But in a relationship, we don't know where the elevation will hit at in the man situation or the woman situation. We don't know where the elevation.
So when is it time to walk away from it? So we guessing.
When it don't equal, but it should be a walk away on mutual purposes.
I think once that thing start where it's 24/7 arguments, I think where the lack of communication,
disagreements,
the lack of respect. I mean, you start seeing a lot of things that's lackluster. It ain't red flags. It's lackluster in the relationship. Whether the interest is not there anymore, whether the love life is not the same, whether the going out, the dating, the relationship starts to change. Where when y'all go out together, man, you know, there's y'all out, but y'all not out. You know, you just did that at home. So when you start seeing all this stuff start to change in the relationship and nobody's willing to really take the bull by the horns and make any changes in the relationship to make it better or to make it work, or you realize that, hey, even though we tried and it still goes right back to those issues and those things and what's causing them, we don't know. It could be anything. It could be money issues, career driven, and support. You don't know what's the root of the problem, but it's a problem somewhere.
Okay,
and if they're not willing to sacrifice each other's love and affection and time to fix that problem, then you know what? And then there's no love, and you know when there's no love left. Then it comes a time where it's time to just maybe go.
So if the man in a relationship take the bull by the horn and say, I'm the man. If this 18-year-old get the 28-year-old.
Let's talk in terms of real marriage age group. It's 18 that, you know, you're still a kid pretty much.
Okay,
let's
typical 28-year-old.
Yeah, let's go 28 to 35.
Okay, 28 to 35. 28, you just this guy. But 32, you got a career, you think things going your way. You take the bull by the horns, but your wife is not trailing you. What do you do?
If both people are not willing to put the commitment, to make the sacrifice, to work on the communication, it's not gonna work.
No.
When one person is saying, hey, I'm over trying, that is the point that you say, this is not gonna work, because if two people are not working at a relationship, which a relationship is to two people, there is no relationship.
But when kids involved, it's more than you and a person.
To be honest with you, and I'm gonna be quite honest with you with this one. Staying together for kids is the worst thing you can do, because if a kid only sees that you're arguing all the time, y'all never together, what are you really showing that kid?
But
How marriage supposed to go?
What if you're not arguing in front of your child?
If y'all not even wanting to be around each other, the kids see that. Kids see people better than what adults see. I see that in school every single day. A teacher can act like they're really concerned about a kid, but a kid can see if you're really concerned about their well-being. So a kid can see if I don't really, every time mommy come in the room, dad leaves. Every time dad comes in the room, mommy just starts talking about something else. A kid can see that. So do you really help the kid by staying? Because now their only image of what marriage is when my spouse come in the room, I walk out.
Okay, now, are you helping the kid? No. That's just the plain answer, no. But you leaving, majority times in situations, the man leave, the woman got the kids.
Okay.
But majority times, I don't know the numbers or statistic numbers. The woman turn bitter and say, you can leave on good terms and say, look, I'm coming to get the kids next weekend. Oh no, you're not. You're not coming to get my kids.
We say
so. What do the
That-
man do?
that- she might still want to. She might still want you.
A lot of women turn bitter, and a lot of men.
And a lot of
do too.
men don't step to the plate and take care of the kids.
You're right.
So it's really you can't say you separating from me and you gonna take my kids from me. I'm gonna fight like I've never fought before to get my kids.
That's what I feel.
And that's the
and
thing.
I love you for that, but the reality of it is, there's plenty of dudes that don't. Right.
Plenty
So
dudes
the
that
reality of it is, plenty of guys that their kids is in the same city as them and they won't never go see them.
Won't never go see them.
Well, I see it on the youth football field, so that's true. I
ain't
see it
never
all the
lied.
time.
You deal with it every day.
Yeah.
And then what you said about kids see more than what parents think. I mean, kids come up and talk to their coach, they talk to their teachers, and you know, when you ask them about something and then you hear something about their home life and it throws you a curveball like you never knew. So, you know, these things happen. These kids they realize what's happening. They see the vision, they see the arguments, they see the non-communication, they see the fights. I mean, these kids, they witness a lot.
They the main ones
So
affected
when
by
it
all
gets to
of
that point, you know, and I still think it all goes back to the communication. And you know when your relationship has fell on deaf ears. You know, when the love is lost, and it's just like Bill Gates said, he was living in a loveless relationship. Now, one of the richest men in the world says he's living in a loveless relationship. Now, what causes that? So that means somebody's showing, you know, less interest. You know, they got something to prove. Because it's amazing how women are sometimes, or even men, feel like they got something to prove in a relationship. They don't let that person grow. They don't want to see their mate grow. They jealous of their mate. You know, that stuff happens for real.
Every day.
And if you don't, you know, it's just
Every
like
day.
it's just like in my house, like I told my wife, you know, at the end of the day, it's one person gonna wear the pants here. I respect everything you do. I give you anything you want. But at the same time, I'm the man. I wear the pants in this house. There's only one man in this house. And I'm gonna give you everything you want as the woman, let you grow your platform. I'm behind you 100%. But in my house, it's one man, one woman. And let me be the man of the house. If we can't figure that out, then we're probably not gonna be together.
But that's your house. Now, I'm going to ask you one question. That's your house. What you said goes in your house.
No, not necessarily. No, because you ain't finna pull me in that. So, no, because you just said no. What I say don't necessarily go in my house. What I say I can have. My wife got it's open communication.
Do you wear the pants in your house?
No, he said goes on in your house. You,
Yeah.
you saying go in your house. He said
Do you
goes
wear the
on
pants in your house?
He just saying that you you're the man in your house.
You wear the pants in your house.
Right.
You told your wife, I wear the pants. You be the woman. I'm going to support you. I'm going to ride with you. You ride with me. So it's a 50-50 thing on that. That's what I say. What you said, what you told your wife, go on in your house. What percentage you think that is going in the average?
Well, I can't answer percentage.
No, I don't need no number, but just psychologically, how often do you think they go on in a
Well, I've seen some good
household?
marriages in my life. So I've seen some bad marriages, but I've also seen some good marriages. So, you know, I can't say a percentage because I've seen both. I've seen great marriages, and I still see great marriages. And I've seen marriages end in divorce. I've seen second marriages be great. So I've seen it all when it comes to marriage. But from my experience, I'm talking about from my experience, this is how it goes in my house. And at the end of the day, it came down to communication, us talking. If we can't talk about it, that's a problem. If you can't be honest about something, regardless of what it is, if I feel like I can't bring it to you, that's a problem. Or you can't bring it to me, that's a problem. Because we gotta have that open dialogue. And then
Y'all too, yeah.
And then you know
That's
what?
anybody, to
and
be
then,
honest
and
with
then
you, man.
I gotta know what's your likes and dislikes. I gotta be. What's your love language? Y'all don't even know love language. You ain't even know your wife. You better learn your wife. But she got just like she's supposed to learn you.
Okay, doctor.
Love language. A lot of people don't have love language.
I can give you that. But you better.
So to end it all, do you think people stay in relationships too long or no?
You know what? I'm not even gonna say they stay in relationships too long. I just wish people would put forth a little more fight and effort in the relationship to understand the problem. And if now, once you've done all that and you've exercised everything that you can as a mate to make sure that thing's a wrap, then you know what? Don't stay in a dead relationship.
Let it go.
You know your happiness is not worth it at the end. If it takes away from your happiness, then it's time to go.
Yo, to be honest with you, Larry, I agree totally with you. You have to, at the end of the day, say, I did everything I can to make this thing work. If you can't say that, shit, you gotta do some more work. You gotta make sure you're not in fault of why this is not going the way it needs to be. And once you say, I've done everything, it's not working, then hey, like Larry was saying, then you need to make the next steps.
I feel the same way. I'm gonna piggyback on what Larry said, what Deidre said. Put forth the effort. When you see your effort is not good enough, it's time to set ways. But a lot of relationships do not end on a good note. Mm-hmm. But communication within it is the same communication you need to use to get her. The same fight you use to get that girl.
Yeah.
The same fight you need to use to end it. Look,
But you know what's funny though? I've seen people get divorced, and then 5 years later, it ain't when they get together. It's 5 years later. How your mama doing? How your daddy doing? Or their relationship is better now than it was when they was married because the growth in them. So it's amazing how they grew.
Communication,
But it was amazing how they was able to communicate and bring that thing together once they weren't together, as if now they want to almost be back together. They spend as much time together as they did when they was married. I've seen a lot of that.
Yeah, guys, great dialogue. I appreciate y'all for coming to hang out with me at the bar today. Hey, anybody that's watching, we appreciate y'all, man, for hanging out with Talk Kings today. Real Kings talking about real things. Check us out on Sky 4 and all social media platforms. We'll see y'all again next episode.
King Talk, where men come from all walks of life. Situations about life, pitfalls, God, women, and downfalls, our lives, and everything that we go through for kings, with exclusive insight to our world. Now walking the Talk Kings, real kings talk about real things. Welcome to Talk Kings.